Hello, and welcome to All Things Arabic, a podcast examining issues related to the teaching and learning of Arabic in primary and secondary schools outside the Arab world. I'm your host, Ustaza Karonin, and today I'm expanding on a theme we've already explored in this series, assessments. In previous episodes, we discussed the assessment process, problems, and successes here in the United States as well as in the UK. In today's episode, we will discuss the German education system, the status of Arabic language learning in Germany today, and some of the challenges facing Arabic language teaching and testing across the German states. My guest is Peter Konerding, an Arabic teacher and the coordinator of the Center for the Arabic Language at Münster University. أهلا وسهلا يا دكتور بيتر.
أهلا وسهلا بيك. كيف الحال؟ لاباسة؟
لا بس الحمد لله لا بس. Thank you so much, Peter, for joining us today for this episode of All Things Arabic, where we're going to talk a little bit more about just what's going on in Germany, what is the state of teaching Arabic in Germany, and hopefully learn a little bit more about how you all are working very hard to standardize that teaching, professionalize that teaching, and just how you're going about assessing and testing students to push Arabic forward as a language on the world stage. Let me start with this question. It's very simple and straightforward. Can you just tell us a little bit more about you, who you are as an Arabic teacher, and what is your place in the teaching community in Germany?
Yeah, with pleasure. I currently teach Arabic at the University of Münster in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia in Western Germany. And I'm also the coordinator of the Center for the Arabic Language, which was newly founded at the very same university, which has among its goals to establish or to develop a strategy to establish Arabic as a regular foreign language school subject in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, but also in Germany as a whole.
That's amazing. I feel like we share that common goal. We just want to see Arabic taught alongside of all the other world languages. Can you briefly describe to us how the German education system is set up for some of our perhaps listeners who might not be familiar with German education?
As in the States, we have 16 different education systems, meaning that we have like one education system per state, and there are 16 states in Germany, less than in the States. But so that is similar. So we have a federal level, which is comparatively less powerful than the regional authorities. And when it comes to foreign languages, this depends highly on the state you live in, what languages are offered. For example, in states close to the French border, French has a very important role. In states close to the Polish border, you might be offered Polish, and so on and so forth. Well, usually a normal German student learns English as a foreign language, the first foreign language, usually, with very few exceptions. And then they either learn Spanish, French, and that is, I think, is specific to Germany. Latin. Latin is treated as a foreign language. So normally you have like English as the first foreign language, grade 5, and then Latin, French, or Spanish in grade 7 for at least 5 years or so.
Okay. So with this state-based system, that is, you're absolutely correct, it's very similar to the US. How do you and all of your fellow Arabic teachers across Germany, how do you all work to standardize your teaching practices, your curricula? Are there assessments that you're trying to standardize, or you're not quite there yet?
To be honest, we're not quite there yet. We have just started talking about all those issues, which are very important, of course. What we do is we have started talking, meaning that we have started to organize ourselves. So there is a German Association of Teachers of Arabic.
Wonderful.
Founded in 2017. We have regular conferences. The next one, for example, will be in May 2024. And we are talking about all those problems. And when it comes to assessment, one of the biggest issues everybody's talking about and everyone faces, regardless of where you are in Germany, is the big question of how to apply the CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference of Languages, how to apply the CEFR to Arabic, because
Right.
because usually administrations of schools, of universities, or whatever institution you work in,
Hmm.
they require teachers to put labels on their courses and say, according to the CEFR, if you do this or that particular Arabic course, you will reach this or that
Level of proficiency in the language.
many teachers are dealing with that problem because they don't really know, they are not really sure about how to do that with Arabic.
Okay.
Because of course, the Arabic language situation is highly specific, not really comparable sometimes to, for example, languages like English or French, for that matter.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit about the types of students in Germany who are learning Arabic?
So the heritage learner field is at the moment pretty separated from the foreign language learner field, if I may call it like that. The problem is now that heritage language learning usually takes place in state schools, depending on the state, and it's also funded by the states, yet it is not really regular. So they aren't proper grades. There is no grading system. It's just done without grades and without proper assessment goals.
Right, like proficiency levels.
Exactly.
Right.
So sometimes it is, sometimes they put labels on the courses, but usually the grades are not really required.
Okay.
And it depends highly, it's very different from one state to the other. And in some states, it doesn't even exist at all. So
okay, so that's standardizing across all of the states, even across schools in the states is a challenge.
And so far, this sector is like, that happens in schools, and the foreign language part of learning Arabic, that happens at universities and colleges.
Okay.
For the most.
Okay.
Part.
So,
but there's a but.
Go ahead.
Some states have decided that they want to develop their heritage, like Arabic as a heritage language, into Arabic as a foreign language.
Okay.
So they are trying to develop, for example, the state of Hamburg is trying to, and has already done so, to develop curricula for what was once Arabic as a heritage language and to change it into a proper Arabic as a foreign language curriculum.
Okay.
And then they are faced with the problem of regular assessment. So what they do usually, and this is better than nothing but not ideal, is that they just apply the global scale of the CEFR.
Okay. The Common European Framework.
Common European Framework. And in the case of Hamburg, for example, it's only Fusha. So they have kind of a communicative approach to Arabic using the standard language. And I mean, we are all familiar with the problems with that.
Right.
And they know it. They know it. They know that that is not an ideal solution.
Okay.
But those problems are the problems which are being faced by authorities, by administrations, by teachers, and so on and so forth. And of course, it's difficult.
So it sounds like you all are having a lot of very productive conversations about what types of assessments would meet different learners' needs and backgrounds, right? And kind of represent an equitable and fair assessment, you know, from students who are learning the language before college or before the university level. And then they're coming to you, Peter, at the university level, and you're able to see, okay, they've reached this level of proficiency. This is where they're going to pick up and continue building their proficiency at the university level. Let me ask you this question, Peter, because I think you alluded to it a little bit before. You all are at the beginning of this beautiful assessment creation journey. Who are you looking towards? Are there any other language groups that have really come in and developed very strong assessments, and you're looking at these other languages, you're looking at these other schools, these other groups of people, and saying, hey, we can learn lessons from those people?
Yes, we are looking at Chinese to be concrete. Because the Chinese as a foreign language within the German school system and as a proper school subject has had a very strong development over the last years. So there have been introduced proper teacher training programs, and more schools are teaching Chinese. And it's really become, in some states, a regular option for students to choose. And they are like, I used to say that they are like 20 years ahead of us. For example, they have created what is it called? They had the same problem when it comes to applying the CEFR to language competence, to Chinese language competence. And they have done their homework, and they have guidelines for that. They came together and they thought carefully about the situation. And there are now official guidelines for how to apply the CEFR to Chinese language assessment within the German school system. And people are making use of that. And this is one of our goals as well in the Association of Teachers of Arabic, to do something similar in the next years. But of course, I mean, this is a huge project and you need money, people. So yeah, the Chinese case is important because that is really a distant foreign language which has been introduced rather quickly over the last couple of years in the German school system. And that is what we want as well for Arabic. We think
Do you envision, Peter, that, you know, as Chinese has been able to build out their assessments and this formalized structure for applying the CEFR, that common European language framework, to their classrooms and building that proficiency, do you envision that happening in the next couple of years for Arabic? Do you think it will take longer?
I'm optimistic. So I think we will manage to do that over the next couple of years. And as you know, sometimes political decisions are taken suddenly. So we should be prepared. This might be even a requirement by state authorities during the next years, because Arabic has become important and more. For example, at the university level, we have almost the numbers of students taking degrees in Middle Eastern studies and Arabic studies and Islamic studies has doubled since 2007.
Wow.
We are facing some challenges because it's after Corona, the numbers have gone down a little bit, but compared to the situation in the early 2000s, it's doubled. So this is just one of many indicators showing that the language does have an importance also compared to other languages. For example, in North Rhine-Westphalia, where I work, we have in the heritage language field, Arabic is now second to Turkish, before Russian and Polish.
Wow.
And it's the only of those four languages which is still growing, like the student numbers are growing. In the other languages, they are falling.
In terms of your collaboration with all the teachers through the German Arabic Teacher Association, how popular is Arabic as a world language option in schools in Germany?
Yeah, the problem is that I think it would be popular if it was offered on a regular basis, but the problem is the option rarely exists. But in those very few schools where it does exist, it's a very popular option. And for example, I don't know if you know my colleague from Schnepfenthal.
Paula?
Exactly.
Yes, I know Paula.
Yeah, I thought so, of course. And where she teaches, like at this specialized school, Arabic is in direct competition with Chinese and Japanese. And it does amazingly well.
Right.
So in those rare places where it is offered in a meaningful and structured way, it is in high demand.
It is in high demand. I love how you said that, where it's offered in a meaningful and structured, and it sounds like also a consistent way.
Yes.
Right. Every single year, Arabic will be offered. Yes. Not this year, and then next year, we don't know if we're going to have it, but consistency seems really key to building out your Arabic language programs on the entire nation level, on the national level in Germany. Let me ask you just a few more questions. Where do you see the challenges coming up for, as you all are moving forward in these next couple of years, trying to develop these assessments? What do you think could be maybe the top challenge or maybe the top two challenges?
German bureaucracy would be.
German bureaucracy. Okay, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
The thing is, the education sector is a state thing in Germany. Like
Right.
it's 99.9% in the state's hands,
Okay.
which is good because it's for free and it's for everyone and so on and so forth. But on the other hand, it's very difficult to come from outside and change something.
Okay.
So you need political decisions, and they have not been taken so far to the degree I think that it would be useful,
Necessary.
needed, and necessary for the field of Arabic instruction. So this is like, we need political decisions in the ministries in the states, which go like, yeah, we introduce Arabic as a foreign language in our state. Ministers to say, we have decided.
Right.
And then there are many steps to take. Of course, another big issue is teacher training programs, because they are pretty rigid. Like if the moment you have a new regular school subject, you need, at least in the state in which it is offered, at least one university offering a full teacher training program for that language. For that, you need people who have to be paid and
Right.
so on.
So it sounds like the number one biggest challenge is ministry educational buy-in, right? You know, these stakeholders. And we
Stakeholders,
face that as well, right? I think one of our goals with this podcast is to be able to reach the heads of the schools, the people in the ministries of education or departments of education, to be able to show them, listen, you have all of these amazing qualified people who are really working hard to improve the teaching and learning of Arabic. Arabic is an incredibly important language, a meaningful language to learn. And we have students and families who really want to take Arabic. So we need you in the Ministry of Education to take those first steps, make those political votes and decisions, and then allocate those resources to training the teachers and providing that professional development from the university level so that we can begin those language programs in each state. Let me ask you one final question. And I know that you're optimistic, so I'm excited for this answer. What do you think the outlook, the future for Arabic as a modern global world language offering in Germany, what do you think that looks like? The future of Arabic, teaching Arabic and learning Arabic in Germany.
I think I really am optimistic about that, because when I started dealing with that topic back in 2014, 15, people didn't really care. And it wasn't really an issue. But after 2015 and the refugee crisis, as it is called in the German media, Arabic all of a sudden had a space in the German public. It was seen, it was heard, Arabic newspapers were founded. Right. So all of a sudden, the language, not just the culture, but like the language had a real presence. Because also many very highly educated people came to Germany from the art world. And with that came a whole new energy into the field. Another indicator of that is, for example, when I talk to official stakeholders, sometimes they think, what, we don't have an Arabic program? Of course we have. And I said, no, you don't. We have to start one. They think that it exists because in their minds, yes, Arabic is important. The language exists. And they can't believe that in their state, for example, you cannot really take any proper Arabic classes in any high school. They think it already exists, doesn't it? And I said, no, it does not. You have to,
You have to build it.
So I would say, like in the German public, generally speaking, the importance of Arabic has arrived. That is no doubt about that. They know it's a global language. It's important. It's the language of the region immediately adjacent to the European Union. It's there. So I think actually developing proper Arabic programs, be it in schools or in colleges and universities, is the next logical step.
Wonderful. That sounds amazing. Peter, it sounds like you are working very hard, you and all of your colleagues, and we hope to stay connected. And we hope that we hope that this podcast and American educators and American students studying Arabic and from the UK, anywhere outside of the Arabic speaking world, we hope that they can all learn from your lessons and be inspired by hearing about all of these great projects that you're pushing forward. And we hope that you as well can continue to listen to this podcast and learn from the other contexts and spaces and places where Arabic is being taught. and learned. Thank you so much. Shukran
Thank
jazilan
you.
for your time today.
Thank you so much.
And we
Thank
hope
you.
to stay in touch and talk with you again soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Ma'a salama.
Ma'a salama.
My thanks again to Ustaz Peter for explaining how the German system works and the challenges ahead for teaching Arabic. For now, shukran jazilan for joining us in today's episode of All Things Arabic. This podcast was made possible by QFI, a US-based organization that helps make the teaching and learning of Arabic as accessible and professional as all other world languages. Subscribe, like, share this podcast. Please do let your colleagues and friends know about it. And head over to the QFI website to learn more about opportunities and resources available to language educators and students. For now, ma'a salama.